Good afternoon. Well, certainly not the outcome that I was hoping for. If I could, before I even got to watch the film, if I could just talk about 3 turnovers in the teens and explosives that we gave up on the defensive side, a block punt. Those are critical factors. It flips the field. It gives them more possessions. And even when we had our chances, we didn't get our first completion for a while there. So just all around, just poor execution in all phases, and particularly when you turn the ball over and you give that offense chances. And what we found out is this is a pretty good offense. And we learned a lot about ourselves today. I think a group of guys that haven't played a lot of football together, the communication, working off of each other, playing those things, that's all stuff that we got to get to as we look at the film. So for me, I think, the positive I can take out of it is the way that the guys stuck together and just kept playing hard. There's nothing more I can ask for when you're, faced with a situation we're so far behind already in the first half, can we just keep playing football? And I asked them to do that, and they responded. And the defense ran and tackled the whole time at the end. The offense just played all the way through, trying to execute, until the very end of the game. So I'm proud of that. I'm proud of these guys. Nobody turning on each other, none of that. Just guys that were ready to take their responsibility. And for sure, as the head coach, I got to be the first one to take responsibility and look at what we have to do going forward.
Dave, when you say that these guys haven't played a lot of football together,
Yeah.
and then you made the decision to only have the starters play that first series,
Yeah.
when you look back at that decision, I know you haven't had a lot of time,
Yeah.
but how do you process that?
Yeah, it all matters. It all counts. And so that's something we got to think about, But again, we had an opportunity today to play football. We played a lot of football, particularly on defense, played a lot of football. So we'll learn a lot from just being able to get this group together and work off each other.
What, if any, positive can you find in Bryce's performance?
Just the pre-snap operation, that was kind of my biggest concern, and I thought we did a really good job. We had one delay a game, I think. We were pretty close and up against the clock there a few times, but I think from that standpoint, gives us a chance with a good starting point to be able to have success in our plays.
Could you walk us through their first touchdown and then the ensuing interception by Bryce and what that meant to fall in that big of a hole in this building right away?
When it's early, I ask the guys, never pass judgment on the outcome of a game based on what happens at the beginning. And so when stuff like that happens early, you're just like, you know what, this is adversity. We have to rise up. Defense held them to a field goal after that interception. So in that regard, I was just kind of like, didn't feel like a precursor of things to come. It just felt like, hey, this is an isolated incident. They had some nice plays. We just had an overthrow on the throw to Deontay there, and then you move on and you just keep playing football.
How do you process this and not get overwhelmed with all the maybe things that you see that need to be fixed?
Yeah, just for me, thinking about it, a loss is a loss. And the nature of the loss, it matters. It's a factor. We look at it, but whether it was by 3 points or as much as it was today, those, you have to just count them as a loss and then move forward to the next challenge, move forward to growing from the things that we see on film. And that was the message I gave to the team. I said, hey, look, this in weeks from now, it's not going to matter what the score was. We lost. Let's go to the truth of it and let's move on, so that it doesn't have that carryover effect,
Dave, I know the turnovers put them in pretty good position on offense, but for them to score on their first 9 possessions,
Yeah.
What can you say about the defensive performance?
We got a lot to figure out. We got a lot to work on. Again, can't speak specifically to anything. We got to get to the film, see the breakdowns of those different runs and the different actions that got out there.
A lot of these guys have experience in the system, though, and it kind of
Yeah.
felt like there was a lot of communication errors, especially in the secondary.
Yeah, and that's something that I was really looking forward to and hoping it came alive, and I still believe it will. When you have that many guys who have played a lot of football in this scheme, they'll figure it out. We'll get back to the film tomorrow. We'll be hard on everybody. Will be hard on themselves. We'll all take our measure of responsibility for what was my approach like offensively to not put us in situations, to where we had to wait so many drives to get our first completion. How can we help the whole situation and system better to find a way to get the ball to our playmakers?
How do you pour into Bryce after a performance like this to prevent him from maybe lingering on it too long?
Yeah, just make it about the basics and just look at each play as isolated incidents. Look at the play. What was the breakdown? Was it timing? Was it footwork? Was it protection? You know, there's a lot of factors that go in, and I think that if you can be objective about looking at the breakdown of the play itself, then it allows you to improve. You know, and that's what I'm looking forward to.
Dave, on that very first play, then you obviously were trying to get him started early. Did you think Deontay was he open when you saw that on the replay?
I thought he had good space. I got to watch the film. I thought he had good space. It looked like a high throw. Post safety was sitting there kind of in position for it. But Deontay had press. You know, I thought he did a good job of separating there. So it was just a matter of me to you factor, you know, get that ball to him in that space.
What happened on their first touchdown? JC was looking at Fuller as though he was expecting deep middle help.
I don't know. I'll have to look at the film.
What did you see in real time?
Yeah, just saw a deep ball get out, you know, so I got to look at what the call was, what the adjustment was. But again, I don't want to speak specifically to anything I haven't watched.
From an operations standpoint, just from coaching staff and communication, how did you feel that went?
That was excellent. You know, we were up against it. We had so much adversity, and the ball getting put in defensive territory and the offense getting into longer situations, which, you know, can kill drives. And there was a lot of good information passed along. And so I felt really good about that part of it. But again, it comes down to execution, and it comes down to game plan. You know, did we help guys enough? Try to, you know, get access.
Dave, what would you say to Panthers fans who were super excited, watch this first game and go, oh no, same old Panthers?
It's a long journey. It's a long journey to become us. I truly believe that. I knew that whether we started 4-0 or 0-4, whatever that is, what I knew is this is going to take a long time to become us. And I can't help you've known me a little bit now, but I just can't help but know that you have to have adversity to become who you're going to be. For guys to pull together, to show their character the way they did today in a really tough loss, and call it what it is. Again, it's one loss. Now we have a chance to come back, to tighten things up, and to work together.
Did you consider taking Bryce out earlier than you did, just from a standpoint of shell shock type of deal?
I did. I thought about getting Andy in the drive before, but I was really just trying to get one more shot at, can we just get our rhythm? Can we get some completions? When it didn't happen, it was very obvious at that point with the score. And so I probably could have gotten him out there a drive earlier.
All right, everybody good?
Good?
How did you make out injury-wise?
Injury-wise, we had a couple of guys come out and go back in, so they'll all be evaluated. Damian Lewis out then back in. Xavier Leggett out back in. Anybody else, Bruce?
Nope, nobody reported on
Yeah. So
What's the mood in the locker room right now?
it's somber. I think that this is a group that really takes a lot of pride. They have high hopes for what we're going to become, and what I'm trying to capitalize on is just the way they're all connected in there. And I think that this is a group that there isn't a lot people throwing helmets around. There isn't people that are pointing fingers and doing this and that. They all, to a man, are like, I got to be better. I got to be better for you in all phases. And that was kind of an ownership moment for the group, you know. So that's generally the mood.
When you say it's going to take a long time for us to become us,
Yeah.
but you also, it's only one game. So, I mean,
Yeah.
what's in between there to get better? I mean, what is a long time when you say that?
I don't know. What I know is that this is a journey, and I can't put any number of games on it, you know. And I just know that we will capture moments in games, and it'll feel like Panthers football. When we're playing tough on defense, we're playing our assignments. It's when we're all in position, working together. When the flow of our offense is going and we have good tempo, we're getting into our plays and different things like that. I have a picture and a vision in my mind, and so do the players. We all have this shared vision of what we can become. And until we feel those drives, you know, we know we're not there yet. And so we're going to keep heading in that direction and believe that it's going to happen and be possible.
All right, thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Thank you.